The Alberta Strong and Free movement. Canada's economic engine for a century. Trump's entry gives Alberta's separatists momentum. Canada fumes, but fault lines exist. After Greenland, is Trump pushing for Alberta next?
Thousands gathered in Calgary's Stampede Park for Alberta. The rally was an Alberta independence rally with more than 3,000 people in attendance and 1,000 watching the live stream event on YouTube. At the center of the rally was Alberta Prosperity Project CEO Mitch Silvestre, who pointed out to his many grievances with the federal government of Canada, including equalization payments, gun bans, and Canada's immigration rate. If you were in a business arrangement with a group of people that didn't respect you and continue to abuse you, would you stay in that business arrangement, he said, as thousands cheered. Guess who's jumped in? As per reports in the West, Trump administration officials have reportedly held several secret meetings with far-right Canadian separatists who want to break free from the country. US officials met with leaders of the Alberta Prosperity Project, a fringe right-wing group of separatists who want the oil-rich Western province to become independent, 3 times in Washington since last April. Sources told the Financial Times this has left Canada angry. Let's listen in.
I'd like to just take and pause a moment. I read an article last night in the Financial Times about a group of people from Alberta, I won't describe them as Albertans, who went to the White House seeking the assistance of the United States to break up our country. Now, I understand the desire to hold a referendum, to talk about the issues you want to talk about in Canada. We got free speech, that's important. But to go to a foreign country and to ask for assistance in breaking up Canada, there's an old-fashioned word for that, and that word is treason. It is completely inappropriate.
We expect the U.S. administration to respect Canadian sovereignty. I'm always clear in my conversation with President Trump to that effect, and then move on to what we can do together. There are channels to raise those concerns. I haven't I mean, these comments are within the past 24 or 48 hours. I don't have a running commentary on everything the administration does. I stand by what I just said about respecting our sovereignty, our expectations of the U.S. administration, and the clarity with which I've always expressed that directly to the President.
Stretched across Canada's vast western prairies and foothills of the Rocky Mountains, Alberta's location places it at the heart of the country's energy, agricultural and logistics networks. The province is Canada's largest producer of oil and natural gas, supplying energy that powers industries, heats homes and generates export revenue worldwide. Alberta holds the vast majority of Canada's oil wealth, with roughly 168 billion barrels of established remaining reserves, primarily in the form of oil sands bitumen. Accounting for 97% of Canada's total, these reserves rank third largest in the world. Nearly all are located in the northern Alberta oil sands. Alberta has a population of about 4.7 million people, making it one of Canada's fastest growing provinces with a high share of working age residents. It consistently ranks near the top in per capita income at around CAD $70,000, driven by energy and industry. Ethnically, Alberta is majority white, with significant immigrant communities, including South Asian, Chinese, Filipino, and a notable indigenous population. Alberta separatism emerged in the 1930s within the Social Credit Party, which formed the government of Alberta after the 1935 election. William Eberhart and Ernest Manning created the Social Credit Party with the aim of bringing financial relief to Albertans who were suffering because of the Great Depression. The movement saw some momentum in 1948 when Imperial Oil discovered the Redwater Oil Reserve, 64 kilometers northeast of Edmonton. 2 new oil fields were discovered in 1949. Support for separatism spiked sharply after Pierre Trudeau became Prime Minister once again after the 1980 federal election. A 1981 poll by the Canada West Foundation found that 49% agreed that Western Canadians get so few benefits from being part of Canada that they might as well go it on their own. Due to the high oil prices of the 1970s, Alberta experienced a boom in its oil sector and the entire economy as a whole. In October 1980, the National Energy Program was created by the federal government under Prime Minister Trudeau, and support for Alberta separatism and anger towards the federal government reached new level of popular support. Trudeau introduced a 25% tax to Alberta's oil. After the introduction of the NEP, Alberta's oil industry collapsed, with a drastic reduction in the number of oil wells drilled. In 2000, the Alberta Independence Party was founded. Although unable to gather enough signatures to qualify as a registered party, it stood 14 candidates as independents in the 2001 Alberta general election. They won 7,500 votes between them. None were elected. Ultimately, the party ended up disbanding by the end of the year. Another separatist party, the Separation Party of Alberta, ran in the 2004 general election. It nominated 12 candidates who won 4,680 votes, 0.5% of the provincial total. No candidates were elected. Albertan Stephen Harper became Prime Minister of Canada in a minority government in the 2006 federal election. Harper had been a significant figure in the Reform Party and was leader of the Canadian Alliance from 2002 until its merger with the PCS. Due to Harper's Reform roots, Albertans held faith that he would be the trusted figure to protect Alberta's interests. As a result, Alberta's separatist movement sat on the sidelines with uncertain prospects. Some pundits predicted that this result would cause support for separatism to ebb away. Support for Albertan separatism has increased significantly with the Canadian federal election victory of Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party on October 19, 2015. Trudeau, the son of Pierre Trudeau, became Prime Minister with a majority government and re-inspired the Alberta separatist movement. While speaking at a town hall in Peterborough, Ontario on the 13th of January 2017, Trudeau said, "We can't shut down the oil sands tomorrow. We need to phase them out. We need to manage the transition of our independence on fossil fuels. It is going to take time." The next day at a Calgary versus Edmonton hockey game in Edmonton, Trudeau was loudly booed by the crowd. Under Prime Minister Mark Carney, Alberta separatism has made headlines not from internal protests alone, but because of high-profile international controversy. In late January 2026, reports emerged that officials from the US State Department met multiple times with the Alberta Prosperity Project, a group seeking a referendum on Alberta's independence, including discussions of a proposed $500 billion US credit facility. So who leads the Alberta Prosperity Project? Well, Mitch Sylvestre is the CEO of Alberta Prosperity Project, leading its independence push, signature drives and public outreach, advocating a referendum on Alberta's sovereignty. Jeffrey Rath serves as legal counsel and chief spokesperson, gaining national attention after publicly confirming discussions with US officials about economic planning for a potential independent Alberta. Dennis Modry is the former CEO of the Alberta Prosperity Project, known for shaping its early strategy and public messaging before stepping down amidst growing scrutiny. Lawrence Cortorelli, director of the group, is a former Indigenous leader and businessman involved in governance and outreach around Alberta's sovereignty and resource autonomy. Alain Gauthier is a director and technology lead within the Alberta Prosperity Project, supporting digital organization, communications and mobilization efforts for the separatist movement. At the core of this problem, like many problems in recent Canadian history, is Trudeau. With just thousands in support, the success of Alberta separatism remains unlikely. But with the expertise of US and regime changes, who knows what will happen next?
The Alberta Strong and Free movement. Canada's economic engine for a century. Trump's entry gives Alberta's separatist momentum. Canada fumes, but fault lines exist. After Greenland, is Trump pushing for Alberta next?